Welcome to Amazing Kitchen. Today we are doing a tea episode. We're talking all about tea today and how to make bubble tea. Okay, let's get to it. My voice is a little hoarse. I think I'm beginning to fall sick slightly, so let's hope not. So I'm gonna pump myself up with some antioxidant, some tea, and boost my immune system, and hopefully I can avoid getting sick. Alright, so where do we start? So as you know, I enjoy tea more than coffee. So sometimes I brew tea on my different episodes, as you can see before. But I brew tea almost on a daily basis for breakfast, for snack, for dinner. Tea doesn't affect me anymore. The caffeine in it doesn't affect me anymore. I can drink tea at night and still go to bed. So I think my body has been immune to it. Tea is popular in the Chinese culture for thousands of years. So it has changed over time. There's green tea, black tea, red tea, all sorts of tea. So it's all about personal preference like wine and coffee. From different regions where the tea is grown, it will absorb the environment, the water quality, the soil quality, and it all incorporates into the tea and adds to the flavor. So as you know, in China, they produce a lot of tea. India also, Sri Lanka, Taiwan. So tea is very popular all around the world, especially in England. But in England, tea is mostly drank with milk, but traditionally Chinese tea is drank straight up. So we don't like it with milk because milk will cut down the antioxidant effects of the green tea. So therefore, we traditionally don't drink it with milk. Milk goes nice with black tea. So that's what we're gonna make today, some bubble tea with some milk. Okay, so let's get to it. What I have in front of us is I have different teapots. So here's a clear teapot with a filter. So this makes it very easy. So if you're on the go and you don't want to filter out your tea and tea leaves, you just add it in, pour some hot water and let it soak. You can pour this out and the tea leaves and all the debris is in this filter. And you can enjoy this over and over by adding more hot water. So this is the modern way of drinking tea. This is a modern tea glass, tea ware. This one is easy to clean and it's beautiful to look at because it's clear. And this doesn't stain over time. You simply wash it and it's clean again. So it's very nice in the sense that you add tea to this and it won't absorb flavor into the teapot. You simply wash it and then it's ready to go with different types of tea. So some people like to use the glassware because it doesn't absorb the tea flavor. So you can brew green tea, black tea, flavored tea in this and it's all fine. But traditionally, Chinese tea is brewed in a clay pot like this. So this is all handmade. This is made from a special type of clay called jisa and it holds heat very well. So when it's formed by hand, they bake this in the oven until the form and the color is set. So now this can hold extreme amount of heat. Once you add the tea in, this doesn't have a filter, so therefore you need an external filter for this. So when you add the tea in, you add the hot water, you fill this up, this will hold the heat very nicely. And over time, because this is clay, so this is traditionally brewed with one type of tea. So one clay pot for one type of tea, because the clay pot will absorb the flavor of the tea leaf over time. So some people they will never wash this once it has been brewed in tea for the first time. They won't wash this in the sense of no soap, no heavy detergent, just simply water, rinse and pour out. And they simply wipe it dry with a nice cloth. So over time this will develop a glistening, glossy from the oil, from all the tea oil, our hand touching it. It will become very beautiful and aged, sort of like patina on leather. So this is very traditional, very nice. And then there's the mini version. If you can see, the size difference is dramatic. So this one is used for making Gongfu Tea. And what Kung Fu Tea, some people understands Kung Fu Tea as martial arts, but Kung Fu in this sense doesn't mean martial arts. It means procedural work. It means it requires a lot of work to brew this pot of tea, because there's a certain ritual that you go through, not in the sense of a religious ritual, but it's just procedural, that when you're using pot like this to do Kung Fu Tea, there's a certain way to brew it, and it produces a very fragrant, potent tea, sort of like the espresso in Italian coffee. This one is also clay pot. So these are the little cups. We serve this in. Usually a pot like this size can fill about 2 to 3 of these size cups, and you simply drink it just so. You sip it, 2-3 sips, and it's all done. It may not look like much, but the flavor is very intense. So the right way to drink tea, I believe, is this way, using a small pot, the Kung Fu tea method. This will produce a much more potent, flavorful tea. You really taste it in your palate. You taste it when you swallow it down your throat. It really leaves a nice lingering sensation. And the flavor, if it's good quality tea, it will stay in your mouth for many minutes. And when you drink water down with it, it becomes like, it releases this sweet kind of flavor in your throat. It's very unique. It's very different from drinking tea out of a normal pot or cup. So remember earlier I said when using these type of pots, there's no filter internally, so you need an external filter. So this is the external filter. This is a little strainer that will strain. There's some little tiny holes right here, and it will strain all the tea debris when pouring it out. And then this is also a holding chamber or distribution chamber. So what this does is, because why you would need this is because when you have a teapot this size, the moment you add water, every second counts. The flavor releases so quickly in this pot that while you're pouring it, from the first cup to the last cup, the flavor and concentration can change across the first to the last cup. So it's very important to use something like this, where you pour this tea into a distributor first, then the concentration is even, then using this, then we distribute the tea into the smaller cups. In this method, everyone can have an even concentration cup of tea that tastes the same. If not, you get the first guy who's drinking has a very light shot of tea, then the last guy will have a very potent, bitter shot of tea. So we don't want that. So to even it out, we can use a filter distributor strainer like this, or traditionally, when people don't used to have this, they simply form it into 3 or 4 cup shape, and you pour the tea over in a circular manner. So you drip some tea over every cup. By the time this is done, it should be more or less even in every cup. But of course, the more scientific way would be something like this. Alright, so those are some teapots that I went through. I mean, in the Chinese culture, there are many more. There's ceramic, there's clay, there's glass, and then there's a lot of different artsy handmade versions. Okay, so let's move on to the different types of tea. So I have, before I go through this, my tea come in these different packages. I mean, I have black tea, green tea, different types of green tea, oolong tea, flavored tea, rice flavored tea also. So, I mean, in this container right here, I have black tea. I usually keep it in this because tea needs to be in an airtight container to avoid flavor being absorbed, because tea is a very good flavor absorber. So if you have something that is smelly and is not nice, you brew some tea, pour it over, or soak the tea in it, and you absorb all the flavor in the item. Maybe your shoes or socks or hands that are fishy. Tea is very good for washing the flavor away. So this is a tea bag for modern life use. So it's easy and simple, so we don't have to clean. This contains 10 grams of grounded black tea. So I use this daily, so it's easy. You just add it into a pot like this, brew it, and then pour it out. Add your milk, add your sugar if you like. Oh, here's another thing. Traditionally, Chinese don't drink tea with sugar also. So tea is drank straight up. It's not supposed to be bitter. Quality tea is always sweet, slight bitterness, but we don't describe that as bitter. It just has a nice tannin kind of a taste going down your throat when you drink it. We describe it as gum instead of bitter, but it's very similar, but bitter is not pleasant. But gum is pleasant to drink. Okay, so this is tea bags, and then if you go to China, they also sell them in these individually served packs. So these are vacuum packed, 1 serving per pot or per cup. So these are usually in, you can see, they're usually tea leaf form. These are not grounded, okay? These are whole tea leaves. Now these can be in green tea and black tea and various types of tea. That comes in and packaged this way and put into a nice beautiful container. So it's beautiful for gifts or daily use. So it's very simple and very easy to make. The best form of tea is tea that is loose, but of course on the go, you know, everyone likes it in a tea bag, so then we don't have to strain it, we don't have to filter it. It saves our time. It's kind of like when you brew coffee the espresso way. You have to get your beans, you have to grind it, you have to weigh it out, then you have to put it through the machine, then finally you steam your milk and pour it over to get your cappuccino. So not everyone has the time to do all of that. So tea is the same way. I mean, modern way is in a tea bag. Yeah, so tea is very similar to coffee in a lot of sense. So okay, so let's get to it. Oh, and last I have some pearls or tapioca. So these are dried already and they form into a ball. So these can be made from potato starch or tapioca starch or sometimes other form of starch. So once it's dried this way, we add it into some water, cook it, and it will expand and absorb and becomes chewy. Then we can add this into our tea to make bubble tea. I have a pot ready. So this is about 1 liter of water. So we'll add 2 liters of this in the pot. All right, our 2nd liter. So we have 2 liters of water in here, and I'll be brewing some black tea today. So 1 bag is good for 1 liter. So we have 2 liters here, so we add 2 bags. But because I like it strong, so I add a 3rd bag to it. So the type of milk tea I'm making today is Hong Kong style milk tea. So we have to boil this tea over heat and let it cook over until the flavor is all released. Then we can cool it down and we'll come back and make our bubble tea. our completed milk tea bubble tea. So you saw the pearls at the bottom. Let's give it a stir, mix in the ice and the condensed milk. So earlier you saw we have the pearls ready. So make sure when you're cooking this pearl, the ratio of water to pearl amount should be about 8:1, or else this will thicken up when it starts to cook and then it will start to burn. Okay, look at this. Isn't this awesome? Wow, this is a drink. This is a drink. I think I don't know if I can finish this tonight, but this is something to be shared with everyone. And these straws are very unique. They're stainless steel, so they're reusable. I mean, these are awesome. So these are environmentally friendly, they don't rust, and we don't need to throw them away. So let's give this a try. Just the right sweetness. If you feel that it needs to be sweeter, you add more condensed milk. It also thickens up the milk tea, so it makes it very tasty. As you saw how this is made, we add the black tea, add the pearls, we add some fresh milk to it, and condensed milk as a sweetener. Then we stir this all around, and it's ready to be served. Oh, I forgot to mention, the syrup that I pour over the pearls, that's honey. So it keeps the pearls from sticking together, and it also adds some sweetness to the pearls. So remember, you can use sugar syrup, honey, molasses, whatever, it's your choice. So let's give this a try and see. The pearls are nice and chewy, just like how a bubble milk tea should be. Now that you see how this is made, you can make this for your family, friends, enjoy it at home. So make sure you get a nice potent black tea, mix in your fresh milk and your condensed milk, and you're good to go. I hope you enjoy this episode. So this milk tea is one of a kind. Maybe next time we'll do another episode with just the hot brewed tea with our pot. So that will be a whole different episode altogether. So comment below and let us know what you think of this. And if you'd like to see anything else on our show, make sure you let us know. So check out our other playlists, especially our all Asian traditional recipes. Okay, until next time, bye now.